Welcome to Limika's Weekend podcast. It's a little bit early for both me and my guest, but oh, 1 second now, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name's Eric Cooper, and I'm going to introduce my mate here, Isabella.
Hi.
Okay, and you represent...
Forest Moongrove.
Okay, so could you tell me a little bit about that?
Forest Moongrove actually started out as Desert Moongrove when we were in Balad, Iraq. When we were in Balad, I went to the installation chaplain and asked if there was a pagan group, and he was like, pagan? Is that like devil worship? And he, the same old ball and wax. Now they explained what paganism was, and he agreed to let me start a group there as long as I had the proper paperwork. Well, it's kind of difficult getting proper paperwork because in the Army we don't have a pagan or Wiccan chaplain, and you have to be what's called a DFGL, or Distinguished Faith Group Leader, which means you have to get sponsorship from a Wiccan church. Well, we only have like 3 right now currently. I guess there's 4 now as of recently. That's Sacred Well with Selena Fox. She sponsors soldiers for DFGL. Yeah. No. Correction. Sacred Wells in Texas. They're a Wiccan church. Circle Sanctuary with Selena is the one. She also sponsors. Then you got Aaron Tabernacle here in Washington with Pete Davis, and another group recently here in Washington called Olotius. If anyone has any other further questions about them, they can email me. The email's on your page. And I went through Sacred Well for blood. Yeah, it's too early, I'm thinking.
All right. So initially you went through another group.
Yeah, I went through Sacred Well, and
Okay.
I got the proper endorsement. It took about 2 months. In the meantime, we couldn't do anything, but we did anyway. The pagans I did know, we met in my shop. I'm a truck mechanic, so I have my own shop. So we just met in the shop every night and had coffee. Tolly's Coffee donated 20 pounds to us in Iraq, so we drank Tolly's every night.
Okay.
Shameless plug for Tolly's because they are very good about endorsing soldiers. Throughout that year, we had about 50 to 60 soldiers and airmen because we had a couple Air Force. We even had a civilian contractor. And we did everything from, we actually had a maypole. We had a tree out back. We used some engineering tape for ribbon. You always gotta improvise when you're in the Army. We used engineering tape for the ribbons, and in Talifar we used a tent pole for the pole. But we'll get to that. In Blog, we did everything from healing rituals because we had soldiers that lost their friends and leaders in combat, and so we did healing rituals for them. We actually did healing energy for people back stateside, for family members and that kind of thing. We observed every Sabbath. We had a pagan awareness day for Samhain of that year.
Right. I guess, Eric, my one major question would be just to clarify that you created all of this while you were deployed.
Yes. Yes.
What? What would make you go through all of that?
I don't know how to explain it. It's my passion to make sure our troops are taken care of when it comes to my Army leadership as well as being a pagan clergy. And
right. Were you certified as clergy before you went, or after you went? During?
I didn't. I'm ordained through ELC, like everybody else is. And I didn't get ordained till, let's see, 05 when we got back from Balad. So I was ordained when we went to Talifar in 05, 06.
All right.
But when I was in Blood, I went on Witchbox, and I just started asking stores and posted on the network Witchbox that we needed supplies because I didn't take a whole lot because I didn't know what to expect for that tour. And the response was actually overwhelming. I got 16 packages in one day. And my deity is Morrigan, and she's always taking care of everything I've needed, right down to coffee. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'd be out of coffee, be like, look, Morrigan, I'm out of coffee. And all of a sudden we get like, I don't know, a whole package full of coffee that day. It was cool.
Speaking of receiving packages or donations or gift and things like that, what sort of programs do you do for making sure that, for example, troops that are deployed have supplies or have religious material or religious paraphernalia? Do you deal with that?
Yeah, you're jumping the gun though. But no, okay. As far as that goes, there's a store here in Tacoma called Mystic Wonders, and another store in. I'm flipping them backwards. Yeah, Mystic Wonders is in Lakewood. Crescent Moon is in Tacoma, and they actually have boxes out for donations for supplies. On the 24th, we're having a troop packaging day where we're just going to go into Crescent Moon and put packages together. I have a list of I think we're up to 6 soldiers on our list. Mm-hmm. But there's also Circle Sanctuary. They do their own thing as far as packaging. You know, there's a couple others out there. The only one I really know of and know is doing the right thing is Circle Sanctuary.
All right. Yeah, I did jump ahead a little bit, but could you, huh?
It's okay. We get everything covered that way.
But could you give me just some details, physical locations, telephone numbers, contact people, if you do want to send a package, for example, to someone who is deployed, or maybe cards or any kind of supplies? Do you have any specific addresses or names that people can contact?
Go on our website, we have a deployed troop page, because I can't give out specific locations due to security of the soldiers. We do have their email addresses up there.
I mean of the soldier. I mean the locations of, for example, the shops.
Yes. Mystic Wonder is 5505 Gillicum Boulevard. You know what? Their phone number is 253-584. Oh, God. 253-584-4875. And Crescent Moon is, I've got the cards in front of me, 253-572-8339.
And for everyone living internationally like me, don't forget to put a 1 in front of that number for America.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, they can also go on our website, and we can handle whatever they need to at the same time.
Okay, great.
Might make it easier.
Just really quickly, though, could you actually say the website address for your website?
It is www.forestmoongrove.org.
Okay. Actually, I just had a quick question. I've known about your group since probably 2005, since it was created, or at least known of it. What made you go beyond the norm? It's one thing to create a group while you're there, or to try and maintain an open line of communication for our pagan soldiers, but what kept you going to create an organization and to maintain it while you're back home? What motivates you?
Anger.
Ah.
To be to the point, anger, because the first group we actually the first group we started was actually in Germany, in Kitzingen. And I practiced in my home. I was a solitaire for the most part, and I really, if anybody needed help, we were there to help them. But as far as our actual practice, no, we were in the home. And I was transferred from one company I was transferred from hard to explain this without, yeah. I was transferred from one company to the next in the unit I was in. And my first day in that unit, the first sergeant, who's in charge of the whole company, got up and blatantly said if you were a Wiccan or a pagan, he did not recognize your religion, but if you're a Christian, he would make sure you got to church. And that's not right. When you're a soldier in the barracks and you're pretty much told you can't practice your belief,
Mm-hmm.
oh no. So yeah, that angered me, we'll say, and I went to the training sergeant and asked for all the soldiers that were listed as pagan. And in a nutshell, we had the first Yule ceremony on that installation. I went to the chaplain of the installation and got permission to have Wiccan breakfasts once a month and hold Sabbats on the installation. And pretty much we started a group. The first Wiccan breakfast we had 13 families, and a couple chaplains even came because they're curious, and it was a good event. But once I saw how much discrimination was out there, then yeah, that pretty much fueled my fire to do something about it.
Wow. Yeah. I'm just. It's not just 2 a.m. It's I'm also sitting in awe. Because it must be. I guess the only question I could have after that is you had mentioned earlier about you said sacred wells and just a few of the groups. How have you been able to combine your group to get working with troops in a cohesive way, considering there are so few legally accepted groups that are approved to work with soldiers? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. As if I have issues, then I'll go to those groups to get answers. As far as working with them, we really don't. Because yeah, I'm trying to be tactful here, but yeah, you'll find certain none of the groups I mentioned per se, but you'll find groups that don't want to help anybody. They're on their own, and they prefer to be on their own, if that makes sense. And so no, we pretty much stick to ourselves. The network I created, it took years to create, but the network I created have several organizations such as the ADF. I've got a couple of Satru groups because we're not Wiccan, we're pagan, which means we are here to help every pagan tradition, not just Wiccan,
Mm-hmm.
not just Druid, not just it's. I had troops that were Satru. I had troops that were Druid. Of course, I had Wiccan troops. I even had a Shinto in the group. So no, we share troop names when it comes down to it, just to get as many troops as we can that are deployed and make sure they got what they need.
All right. How would you say, just for talking about practical logistics, what would you say is the biggest challenge for what you do to accomplish your goals of making sure that the troops get what they need, not just supplies but also support?
The support side of it, there's no logistics because it's all email, and I'm trying to think because yeah, the biggest challenge is shipping and handling.
Mm-hmm.
But I pay for that anyway, so but no, The biggest challenge would be shipping and handling,
Okay.
cost wise, because the donations have been coming in no problem. So when it comes to needs, if people want to, I guess if people want to go through their book collections and see what old books they don't use anymore, that'd be a big thing because books are a huge commodity over there. Their troops love their books.
If you
And
if you did receive donations and things like that for the troops, what would you recommend as the best kind of donations?
yeah, I was just about to get to that. Candles. We go through candles all the time. In fact, hell, we went through probably 10 candles a night, depending on what we were doing. So I say candles, any kind of stones, books, incense, ritual items.
Are there any items that are banned?
From what I understand, right now they're saying athames and blades are. I can get herbs through. That's no problem. In fact, I have an athame I'm going to get through. But yeah, it's also depends on what you put on your custom label.
Okay. So, have you found it difficult to defray costs?
Not really.
That's nice.
Well, I'm fortunate. I don't have too many bills, and so I mean personally, so I still get a military paycheck. I'm going through a disability board right now, and so I'll be on disability here pretty soon. But no, defraying costs. We're actually working on a 501c. We're going to file our articles of incorporation next week, as a matter of fact, and then we'll be applying for grants, and that'll help defray a lot of costs.
Ah, okay. So you're also applying for 501c3. Just for listeners who might be going through that process or thinking about that process, what would you say was the most important things that you've had to consider before electing for 501c3 status?
Well, one, deferring cost, and we need 501c for some of the goals that we'll be doing, because our end goal is to have our own sanctuary. Forest Moon Sanctuary will be probably approximately 100 acres of land that won't be touched for the most part. It's going to be open to people that want to come live on the land. I plan on having it self-sustained. This dream actually started back in '05. We were supposed to be going to Arizona, and we actually have 501c in Arizona for Desert Moon Sanctuary, which kind of fell apart, but it was picked up by a woman named Sandra and Shantaista ULC. She picked up that dream and carried on with it.
Okay. Speaking of your goals, what would you say are your main goals for your group?
Okay, the main goals for the group, first and foremost, is ensuring our troops are taken care of. That comes with supplies, that comes with spiritual support, that comes with discrimination. I do maintain all the regulations for the Army, because I am Army. So I don't have too much for the Navy, the Marines, and whatnot. They're easy enough to get. But I do maintain the regulations that helps in the fight. Knowledge is power. I firmly believe that. And so we're here to help assist soldiers in any issues they're having with their leaders, with education of what paganism is and what it's not. We're standing behind the ADF and the Asatru, getting their symbols on headstones, because we do have the pentacle on the headstone, and that just happened about 3 or 4 years ago after a 9-year fight.
Quite recently, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
We need to get regulations changed for VFGLs, because until we get a pagan chaplain, the chaplaincy corps is broke. It's broke to where if a chaplain doesn't like you as a pagan, they can use that gray area within the regulation to tell you that's not your duty, when in all reality it is. Does that make sense?
Well, actually, it's funny because I was reading up on what's required for military chaplains, at least within certain branches, and it seems ironically that it doesn't really matter what you get in on or as, because you end up serving whichever majority will be there.
Yeah, all chaplains are supposed to be there for all denominations and all religions, but when it comes down to it, they're going to always side with their main denomination. So if you're a pagan chaplain coming in, you'd still have to work with all the other religions, even though you favored the pagans.
Mm-hmm.
When it boils down to it.
Mm-hmm.
We host Pagan Coffee every Saturday here in Mount Vernon, Washington. We have coffee from 1 to 3 at Starbucks.
Is there only one Starbucks in Mount Vernon?
No. Let's see, it's
212.
Yeah, it's
East College
212
Way.
East College Way. If you go to the Safeway Starbucks, you're at the wrong one. It's across the street from that Starbucks.
All right. Well, for those who live in the area, don't go to the Safeway Starbucks.
No.
You shall be in the wrong area.
That's right across the street. We'll be able to see you.
Okay, so we're just going to take a little break, and
Okay.
when we come back, we'll get on with the rest of the interview.
All right.
Take me back to Bradford Tin. My old horse wanders by the water, black and soft as midnight's daughter. And I can't see my clouds in the mirrors, and you're still building fires when we can't sleep. Oh, warm your hands beneath me now. Don't run off to that hill of wasted ash, when all we have will just sink down in that beautiful and broken past. Dream of you holding up the shield to the water, Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that song, and we're back with Eric and Issy. And speaking of
Hello.
long-term goals, what other interesting things have developed for you and your group?
Can we? That's a big do-over.
Well, we've taken over the western region of Washington State for Pagan Pride. And so in 2010, we are working on getting Coronet Bay Retreat Center locked in for a 2-day event.
As the coordinators of Pagan Pride, or?
Yeah, we're the coordinators of it.
Wow.
And we're going to have a 2-day event. We can sleep 186 there because it has cabins. It has a restaurant-sized kitchen. It has a bonfire pit. So I'm working on trying to get bands lined up. So if any bands are out there that want to come to Pagan Pride in Washington, we need bands. This is what we're lacking. We already have about 20 vendors lined up with room for 50 more because it's a huge place. So we're looking for vendors. We're looking for workshop presenters. We already have some headliners coming in. I'm not going to say names because anything can happen between now and 2010.
All right, and when is the projected date for this Pagan Pride event?
Oh, September 18th and 19th
Of
2010.
All right. Exactly where again?
And it's going to be in Oak Harbor, Washington.
Okay. Another thing I was just hoping to ask you is that earlier when we were talking about children's activities as well.
Uh-huh.
What sort of children's activities does your group do?
We've just started within a month and a half, the Forest Moon Tribe, which is our kids group. Right now we have about 8 kids. We just made a syllabus last night. It's kind of like your Boy and Girl Scouts, but it's pagan. We're going to teach them based on the elements. They have about 2 patches to earn in each element, and each element takes about 6 months. There's really no time period because, I mean, however long it takes them to learn it, they learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the 501c is going to help too, because there's stores out there that support kids groups, whether they're pagan or not. There's we got for anyone that's out there that's got a kids group, the store Kohl's, if you're a 501c, will if you have a kids a straight kids event, they will send you 5 employees as volunteers to coordinate with that event, and they will send you a check for $500 to your organization.
Wow.
But you have to have a 501c status.
Okay.
There's other grants out there, like I know, what's that one? Food Pavilion will give you a $500 grant for food to help with your kids' organization. That kind of thing.
All right. If I could just get a little bit of clarification, what sort of age groups are you working with?
We work with 4 to 18. Right now we have
big bracket.
Yeah. Right now we have 2 4-year-olds?
We have 2 of each: 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, and 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear that. Could you get a little closer?
Sorry, I said we have 2 kids of each age we have 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, and 10-year-olds.
Okay.
2 of each.
Yeah.
All right. So what sort of activities, say for example, if I was a parent interested in this group, what sort of activities or things could I expect?
They just came up with their magical names. We basically just got as far as getting their magical information together. They created their magical names. They planted some herbs. They were going to write. They didn't make it yesterday, but they're working on Yule cards for the troops to put in the packages.
Aww.
They've created their Book of Shadows.
The what? I'm sorry, what?
They've created their Book of Shadows.
Oh, okay. So is this a kind of daycare type thing, or?
Oh no, it's one day a week.
Okay. So it's a class, or?
Yeah. It's on Saturdays from about 4 to 7.
Okay, so about 3 hours every Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find information about the kids' classes on your website as well?
Yes.
Just really quickly, could you tell me where someone could find information, not just from your site, but also perhaps if you have Facebook or Twitter or MySpace or any of all of those networking sites?
Yes, we are Forest Moon Grove on Twitter.
No spaces.
Huh?
No spaces.
Yeah, no spaces. I haven't really created so much of Forest Moon on Facebook. Just look for Eric Cooper on Facebook, and I send out Forest Moon blasts on my page.
All right.
MySpace is Izzy's Rome.
MySpace.com/lilac_fox.
Could you repeat that?
It says MySpace.com/lilac_fox.
Ah, okay, lilac_fox. I thought you said something else. Oh, that would have been an interesting one. Okay.
I don't know what she thought I said.
No.
All right. Now, for anyone who is listening to the show, it's become, or at least for me anyways, it's become quite obvious how you have impacted the lives of those around you, especially the community. So it is a little bit pointless to ask you how have you affected the community, but I'm still going to ask it anyways. If you have any specific moment or incident or event that really stuck out for you as an example of how you have impacted the community in a positive way.
I'm thinking. Well, I guess when you get asked to come to Pagan Pride and have a booth, it says a lot when people actually want you to bring your organization to their event.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is the first time we've had a physical community. The pagan community as a whole. Yeah, and it is even brought up the point that, people walk up and know me by name and are on our email list from other states. And, you kind of know you have an impact when people at random you don't know just walk up and know who you are. It's kind of weird, but...
Or people calling you from other countries saying, I'd like to interview you?
Yeah, that happens occasionally. Not very often. Yeah, he kind of threw me off with that.
Yeah, it's actually something I've been trying to do, but I just didn't have the capability until now.
Okay.
I guess my next question would be a little bit personal vastly personal actually. But how do you feel that you have been affected personally by your own contributions to the community?
No, God, how do you answer that? I don't know, because it's kind of all jumbled. Anyway, because I've got PTSD from 4 combat tours. I deal more with that. I mean, with my condition, I can't be around crowds. So, like when I go to Pagan Pride events, I can be there smiling and happy and look fine, but I have to step out and away from people. So I didn't start driving until about 3 months ago. I did drive for about 2 years because of road rage and dodging on the freeway and things like that. So our next event's going to be this tour we're doing, which will be interesting and fun. And Izzy needs to learn how to drive so she can do most of the driving. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
Okay. Is he?
She's got mic fright.
Ah. I keep forgetting. It's like, Izzy, what do you think about that? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Okay, no problem. The last one of the last questions would be, what would you like to say to all of the people listening out there, or somebody who might happen to find the show or find other podcasters, or let's say later on if you you get interviewed by other podcasters, what kind of message would you like to leave out for people listening?
Well, pretty much, war's never going to end. I mean, we're moving on from Afghanistan to from Iraq to Afghanistan, and never forget your troops, because right now from the private to the we're losing troops, especially now every day, and until we have a pagan chaplain, they're not going to get the respectable honors they should have. And I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is just don't forget them, because they're there for you.
Well, thank you both for your time. Hopefully I can bug you later at a
better time.
At an hour that is within my range of mental capacity. And, well, thank you for your time, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
If you could, just restate for those listening, contact information, places where they can find you, and both online and offline.
Okay, our house number is 1-360-424-5371. Our website's www.forestmoongrove.org, all one word. We also have a Ning site I forgot to mention, which is www.forestmoon.ning.com. Mm-hmm. And we're on Facebook as Eric Cooper, and Twitter as Forest Moon Grove. Now, one last thing, we are doing our nationwide tour, just to go out and meet the people in our network. I will be leaving, hopefully we're looking at December 1st, crossing Washington into Oregon and California, and then up through Arizona and Nevada. We're hitting almost every state before.
Alrighty then. So, for those who want to be able to contact you physically, you'll be posting those date and times on your site?
Yeah, we'll also go on Facebook. When I do an email update, I send it on the Facebook notes, which goes to all of my friends list, main pages or whatever.
All right.
Think we're good.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the interview. We actually have a special episode coming next week for those of you who are interested. I'm sorry this show came out really late by my standards. It was supposed to come out on Sunday, but I've been sick for about a week and a half, so you can probably still hear I've got sexy alto voice. But anyways, our next episode is going to be featuring an interview with one of the directors at the National Diet Library, which is the Japanese National Library. So I was very fortunate to get an interview with one of the directors there, and I'm going to be asking her some interesting questions about folklore, magic, occult books, anything interesting she might have seen, and just different interesting topics, because she's a really interesting lady. And the interview will be in English, so don't need to worry about that. Also, just to inform everybody, don't forget that there's the Facebook group that you can find, Lamika's Wiccan Podcast. Also, I've set up the Twitter, or my Twitter, which is twitter.com/Lamika. And as always, if you want to check out other shows, we've got some great members. Please go to paganpodcasting.org for other shows. Also, sorry, I'm coughing. On a side note, if you want to contact me with something you want to hear, or a topic you want to hear, or a place you'd like me to check out, because I'm going to start going to places in Tokyo that I can talk to some of, for example, some historical places. But if you do want to hear something, go on Facebook, go to the group, sign up, or join the group, leave a post there, or you can email me directly, and it's lamyka@hotmail.com, LAMYKA@hotmail.com. Alright? So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next week for the interesting interview with the director. And as always, Lady bless and blessed be.